Hello folks, Rever here with another episode of Grazyland. And if you remember or watched the last episode, we had laid out our spreadsheet a little bit, and our task for today was to spray some CC herbicide, so a double dose of CC. CC I always tend to remember as corn and canola. There's a couple other things that it's good for. You can actually, even though it may not be the recommended, it's really the ones that doesn't like that's the more important. So be sure not to spray those don't like it. So I'm going to hop into the tractor, and I have crop destruction on. So usually what I do, and I guess it's a little bit cheaty, is I record a course. And then the first time I spray a field, I will, drive through it, cause the tram lines to be put in there. But for me, spraying every time is just a bit too much. Let's get out of the way of those trees as I open up. Besides that, it's just, I'll set this guy to this course again after this first spray. And I'll even do that, deliberately go and run a course. I'll try to follow I'll manually follow the course play course in the future. So one of the ways that I set up this course is to, why did it do that? Let's see if we can. I didn't want it to go in that direction. I thought I was in a nice straight. Switch away from this implement. The sprayer takes up too many different options there. So let's see if we can't load a course. No, we don't have any saved. I really don't. I'd like to get this straight. I know I had the course play on straight last time. Turn it off, turn it back on. No. Yeah, I wish I had saved one that was nice and straight. Let me see if I can get into another vehicle. See if that'll help. Let's go to... Pretty sure I was in the Chrome. Let's hit control here. Yeah, see, that's a nice straight line. That's what I want. So what I'm going to do is come back over to here, and I want to save that as course 1. I'll just call it, straight. Alright, so now let's go back to, this guy. Like that. And now let's load up course 1. Now see how that just straightened it out? So, very good. That's what we want. And we also want to make it much wider. 24 to be exact. Which can be a bit of a pain. So I will definitely be sure to... Oh, come on. There you go. So I will change this to 2, and I will save it again. I'll call it 24 straight. There we go. So now let's kind of see, looking over this way, let's turn the guy a little bit that way, and then really don't need this. Which way are we doing this field? We're not going to do it this way. We can turn it 90. So what I'll do is I'll just get this guy kind of lined up straight on here. Again, we really don't want to end up on the field. We don't want to cause destruction. There we go. I just want to get him close so that he, it doesn't have to be exact. So let's turn it 90 degrees and then move it. Doesn't matter which way, as long as we're on the edge of the field. Alright, that looks pretty close. And then what we want to do is pull out onto the field a little bit. And I did it again. Sorry about all that. There we go. Gamepad. I like to hit this little, if you hit the slightest amount sideways, it shifts to the next vehicle. Alright, so there we are. So we're pretty well lined up. I probably could back up just a bit. Doesn't matter if he sprays a little bit extra. There we go. So we're pretty close to the edge of the field. Hopefully when he starts on his real course he'll do that. So I'm going to raise this guy up. And I think we're all set to go. So I'm going to run all the way around the field one time and then start looping. You'll see what I mean in a second. Why didn't it spray? Why do I only have 4% spray? Alright, so let's stop this, delete that, close that. Yeah, I would have bet for sure that I had filled that with some spray. Sorry about this, guys. We'll run over there real quick and get some stuff. These gates seem to close every night, every time I log out. Oh no, this one didn't. I think the spray... If I owned this farm, there's absolutely no doubt that I would just level like all those trees and that mound right there. Who wants to drive around all this stuff with your equipment? Stuff to hit. Alright, yeah, I thought for sure we had filled this guy up, but I guess we didn't. Oops. There we go. Not off too much of a start, huh? Let's see how much this cost us. $19,000. Yeah, I don't know if that's realistic enough, but it certainly seems like an awful lot of money. And when I've played hard mode, I've gone in there and just, done whatever I could. I think the easiest thing I found to do is to actually cut down the spray rate of the tractors. Right this minute I kind of forget how I did it, but in other words, rather than trying to mess with the pricing, which I wasn't sure how to get to, I found, where you had the spray type, the spray rate, and I would cut it dramatically so that it looked the same. So let's put this out. And I think we're ready to go. And that's a little bit better starting point. And let's raise this guy up again. Alright. Here we go. Professional grade, right? Let's try this again. There we go. So I'll try to use my headlands. I don't really need to, you don't need to be the full width here. It's more about spraying the outside edge. So that you don't have a whole bunch of U-turns in, especially when the field has trees on it like this. Well, this field too is a pretty big field. So is field 5. Here I'll actually try to swing a little bit wide and hopefully I'll hit that stupid tree. Now here you can see we just have this one dumb run. There's not much we can do about it because Yeah, it's just we got it lined up on the other side of the field fine. So as long as we stay here, that green line gives us a little bit of a guide as to whether we're going to hit a tree or not. Green line that's off to the right. So I'd like to try to stay right where I'm at if I can. Doesn't really matter that this is dead straight, of course, because it's just finishing off the end. Pretty close to that tree. Sorry if I'm not talking too much. I'm focusing. I need to talk every second of our... That tree's pretty close too. Alright, very good. So we will turn now. Bring it back out a little bit wider. And we're in good shape. So from this point, we got one more corner that we got to turn, try not to hit a tree. And hopefully we can do it in such a way as to cover every square inch. So the debate is trying to get that boom like far into that corner. Pine tree right there. GPS, and there we go. So from this point on, it's just a matter of running up and down the lanes. You know, we'll get to the other end, we'll make the U-turn, and you waste a little bit of spray, but for me, this is way to stay inside of like any field. You can see we're pretty well lined with trees the whole way. You know, so trying to go down that end and turn around just causes a lot of problems. And just on other fields, you just have hedges there or something. While it might not be the most efficient from a spraying point of view, this is definitely a good way to do it. You've got to stay in the bounds. Plus if you're spraying, you could go down the end and turn off the spray. This, the course play guy's not going to do that. Right, almost there. It's nice when the tracks are there too. Down the road when I do it manually, it's pretty easy to follow my lines. I try to get it pretty close to, not destroy it any more than I have to. Try to stay, turn into the tractor line as best you can. There you go. So why don't I pause it there? All I'm going to do is go up and down, I don't know, quite a few more times, whatever that adds up to, and I'll be right back before I'm done. Second to last row, things have gone very well. But I'll just jinx myself, knock on wood. There we go. Don't predict anything going too poorly at this point, but if you look off to the side, I guess you can see where the render distance, you can kind of see your tram lines in there. Have to go down this row and up the next. And one of the things I thought I might try to do is using the same spreadsheet, kind of keep track of how much the harvest was and how much money do we make, how much does it cost us. Should have probably paid a little more attention to exactly how much the money went down when we filled this thing up with the CC. And fortunately for me, I recorded it, so let me write that number down. The thing wasn't dead empty at that point, but probably be close enough. Like I said, I could probably go do some math and Might do that as soon when we're done this, because I'd like to. Not 100% sure how well I can work out jumping between the spreadsheet and the game. A little bit of a limit to using OBS software there, but once we're done spraying this field, we'll jump over there and I'll have set up a few changes to the spreadsheet just so makes sense as to what the harvest was. I may even go back real quick and look at the videos and just get my totals, exact numbers. And we'll just do it field by field at this point. So I'll just worry about field 2 for right now. And, if what I do on field 2 works out, then I'll do it on field 5 and so forth and so on as I spray and handle each field. So when we get to the end here, I like to stop the course, off the end, even though the course play guy will spray a little bit extra. I can stop and right here. You don't want to go too much past it, or else it will go another extra 10 feet when you put the stop sign in there. So let's close this. Lower and down. Let's save it because I love not saving it. So F2 spray 24. Very good. Alright, so let's put this on and we can see what we created. So like I said, when it comes to tomorrow's spray, and there's most likely I will just set him on, set a driver on that. There's much to cut down on the tram line destruction. I guess if I wanted to be super hardcore, you wouldn't do that, but zoom in a bit. There we go. Alright, now we're business. So I want to write this number down off the field here. Well, off the field, back to the farm. This might be faster to go this way to the spray section. Another thing I thought of, I'm not sure what I want to do next. I really started this map with the idea of doing some course place or some farm soil mod stuff. There's just so much to do in this farm. Looks like a fun map. This automatic door stuff, but and the stoplights, stupid stoplights. I think my I don't know where to go from here. Right in front of me, going a long way. Would have ran into it if I just went straight. Alright, so let me park him here for a second. I'm just going to write this number down so I remember it. 2496. This guy holds, let's make sure I get it right, Amazon 5600. Alright, well let me go work on the spreadsheet for a couple minutes here, and I will be right back, and I will be on the spreadsheet when I come back. Guys, I'm back over here on the spreadsheet. And right for now, what I did was I went and calculated the amount of fertilizer that we bought. So we had 225 in there, of the herbicide I should say, and we had to fill it up to 5,600, which meant that we bought 5,375. And it cost us $19,698 and blah, blah, blah. The bottom line is that is $3.67, more or less. It was right in the middle, so I put the 5 on there, which means when we look at how much we used was $3,104. It cost us $11,400 to spray that field with herbicide. So I figure I have a little extra space down here to write the amount of the harvest. And I know this will get a little bit disjointed depending on, what we do next. But I did notice that every time I hit the record button, I kind of lost a row there. I'm not sure. Anyway, I kind of worked it out, but there's our lime line back. The question mark is because I'm not sure if when I spray liquid lime, if I'm going to get moisture tomorrow. If you notice, this kind of confuses people with the water. I've talked about it a little bit before, but right now we got ourselves right at 57, but that's because we're spraying water on this second or the third day. But it's sort of going to depend on whether or not this lime adds 14 moisture. And we'll know that because if it doesn't, it'll drop down to 29 or so. Otherwise, it's going to be right at 43. With all of these numbers, I wanted to explain something about this sheet, just in case you guys did download it. I think I have it on sheet 9 here. It does what they call a VLOOKUP. So if we come over to water, which is what we were just talking about, if I don't put the number 43 in there, it's not going to pull out the 98%. So these numbers within the bounds of the gaps, this over here on the left-hand side, I got directly from a comment. You can find these numbers a couple places. I think I got them from, there's a huge thread on FS UK about the soil mod. And so these are the exact numbers at the time, at least, that Decker had put out. So I just sort of put them into this format over here so you could see 98% value 3. I kind of figured out that value 3 meant 43 on the moisture. So, value 4 would be 57, so forth and so on. There's some numbers are missing, like if you look from here to here on the nitrogen. So I just assumed, and I think at some point I read that it's linear. So in other words, if he didn't give you a value between 1 and 0.5, it's, I went from, here's 1 down to 0.5, and each one of these is an even increment, which means linear. So there you go. So if we come back to sheet number, or field 2 sheet, and we look here, I don't know if you can see that this well. I have the screen blown up, but it doesn't seem to affect this line here. I don't know of any way I can. Oh, there you go. Look, just wrote it over here when I clicked on it. So VLOOKUP, and it's saying go over to sheet 9 and look up the value in that range and then spit it out here. So then the way I looked at it, and this is where I'm not 100% sure if I'm right, is with this. I'm basically adding up the difference. So 0.9 is 10 off, or 0.1 off, I should say. This is 100%, nothing. So 0.2 off, or 0.02, which is 0.12. Then another 0.03 adds up to 0.15 off, which in my score, and notice I didn't say percentage of the yield, the score is an 85, meaning you lost 1.5 off of what Decker's numbers were for, 100%. So if 100% was an N value of 5, and again, we come back over here, we are off on our N on this line by 1. So when it came over here, it looked up 4. So Decker's value for 4 was 0.9. So we lost 10% is the way I looked at that. Now, I'm not sure, and this is part of what we'll experiment with by taking the extra time that I've never actually done to add up exactly how much crops we get. Once I do a couple runs, if we get 2 runs, 2 different sets of numbers, we can actually get a good estimate of what 100% would have been. And I might be able to figure that out some way through the code or, some kind of yield factor there. So there we go. So as far as this field goes, we're done for the day. So normally what I'll do is I'll come in here whenever I spray something, change the background color to that light blue. So again, if it's a couple days before I get back or whatever, or even just, you get a little bit, I'm not old, but when you get older, you forget stuff. So Now I know I sprayed the lime. I saved it. We could probably talk about, the next field a tiny bit will be field 5. Now we don't have any of that extra stuff, but, I'll add that in off camera. One of the things that we'll probably end up doing if I come here and just take all of this and then carefully go back over to here, go to the same exact block and hit paste. Yeah. What happened there? See, that's is that what number is in here? Did I mess up and not do carefully? Like I just said to do carefully. What is going on? Error. All right. Let's thank goodness for the undo. What the heck did I do? All right. Why did it do that? So I'm going to copy all of that. Yeah, I really want to overwrite it. Huh. Wonder why. What am I doing wrong? Strange. I don't know. We'll just type it in. So the bottom line is I think we're going to end up doing pretty much the same thing to each one of these fields. That's why I was going to copy and paste it. So, but I do kind of want to hold off till I spread the lime. There's no doubt that I want to do some herbicide on field 5. Let's see, can I copy this row? Wondered if it doesn't have to, I don't know how to get rid of this thing over here. I wonder if that's not messing things up. Let's just try to copy one row. Yep, look, it's making it mess up. All right, well, we're just going to type it in then. But I'll do that off camera, so we will spread some herb after I say I do it off camera. And oats, I think, is BB. Again, right down here on the spreadsheet, oat, BB, well, B. And that'll add 14 moisture. It'll take away minus 0.2 on the pH, but it'll give us the protection for the rest of the go. And, just like the other one, we'll need lime and NPK and NPK. And we're going to wait and see about, that's 3, 1, 3, 1. And we know that's 14, 14. So see, each growth cycle, you're going to end up losing 14. So that's why, I spread it out like I do. We'll see if this lime from the other side, if that gives us more water. And we lose another pH just for the growth. We're going to lose 2 pK, which is really what we're making up. If you look at these numbers, let's go look at this number real quick. pK 4, right? So this is Decker's numbers right here. If you're at 7 on the pK, you're down to 0.3. So compare that to being at 7 at the, on the nitrogen. I mean, that's just a huge drop off. You're dropping, like 0.5 every, not 0.5, but, 0.2 something here and another 0.2 something here. 0.23, I guess I have 0.24 there, close enough. Like you're dropping 0.2, or here, nitrogen being low, by the way, you don't want your nitrogen to go low. So you'll lose 0.7 there, 0.8 there if you're down to 3. Now you look, between here, it's 0.5 difference. So if you get your pK down to 0, you're getting almost no bonus. Now that's my understanding of it too, is that this is, it takes the place of the fertilizer that's in game. So in other words, if you don't spray fertilizer, you still get 100% yield, but you get 100% bonus if you spread fertilizer. So what I want to kind of do during this series is see, can I make this score a percentage? So in other words, can I add this up and say I'm going to get, 185%? That doesn't really make a lot of sense, I know, but an 85% bonus to my yield. I want to see if that works. See here, it's a shame we can't harvest, at this point. We'll lose a little bit. See, everything was pretty close to perfect right here. Unfortunately, we had to let it grow one more day, and we had to add some nitrogen, and that will sort of, to get the extra PK going. So that threw us up, so we'll only get 88% yield. Now, if we decide to wait again, like we talked about before, we could get 93%, but it's not worth waiting a whole day because you're going to lose a day's worth of growing crops to get 5% more, or 7% more. You lose, if it takes 4 days to grow the crops, 25%. I think I went over all that already. So enough of that. So here we are on field 2. And again, the field 2 is light blue down there. That means it's something I harvest on the first day. Here's the second day. Could we spread the lime today? Absolutely. We could spread any of this stuff we wanted. You don't have to wait. It'll go in at nighttime. We could get ahead of the spraying, but I'm not going to. Just no real reason whether I spread it today or tomorrow. Plus, it's getting a little bit late in the day in the game. So, all right. Well, let me jump back over to the map, and we'll get into the next thing. Okay, guys, we're back in the map. I wanted to show you the results of my cutting those trees down. 724,000 pounds of wood chips and a poor conveyor that looks like it would catch fire in real life if you actually tried to start that thing up. Imagine there's a belt or two down at the bottom from a motor, and it might be a hydraulic run thing, but it still would have an electric motor that I imagine would get pretty hot pretty quick trying to get those chips out of there. It's kind of a silly graphic, isn't it? But I guess it's a little bit different. So here we are. We're over by the spraying thing. And I have an opinion question to ask you guys. It was my intention to focus on the soil mod with this map. Like I said, there's a lot of stuff to do. I'm already recording a fair bit with the Gifts of the Caucasus as far as playing goes. I don't know, if you guys prefer me to keep it to the soil mod as a learning experience and, soil mod experiment, that would be nice. Or would you rather see me play it like a full-fledged map? I think I'm going to start out just really recording the things I do, and just really focusing on the soil mod. Could go either way with it. Like I said, it looks like a fun map. And it's not going to kill me to just go get this chaff off the fields and stuff like that without you guys. And I may play around with it a little bit, but the Gifts of the Caucasus map is taking up a lot of my real life time and don't really need to get into a whole new, map experience, I guess you could call it. Scott's Tech Bites did mention that somewhere near the starter house. Let's run over there. So I guess what I'm saying is I may play the map a bit, but not worry about getting into animals and just every other. I'm not necessarily even going to worry about making money other than with these couple fields we have, and I'd buy fields to suit our soil mod experiment purposes. Is this the utility box? All map traffic. Scott, thank you very much. You are the man. I will tell you that right now. I don't know that I'd kiss you because you're a man, but at the same time, I could kiss you. That's just a beautiful thing. Wish I had one of those at my house, some remote control to turn the things in real life. Well, you can do that, by the way, at least in the United States. But you get in a lot of trouble. I think it's a pretty hefty fine. But if you get a strobe light, you can actually flash the lights, and it turns it like it does for an ambulance. It's not that sophisticated a system. I know one of my buddies used to try to do it with the spotlight, like he had a spotlight for spotting deer and stuff like that at night, and he would shine that at the thing once in a while. That was my crazy days, I guess you could say. But in any event, yeah, so let me know. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mess around on the map a little bit. I will come back tomorrow. Like, I'm not sure how much. I'll probably just do more fast forwarding, but I would like to take a look. Some of this stuff is absolutely new and somewhat, I have no idea. If we jump down to, not there. Oh, Lieber 7. You know, I was just looking at this thing before I started recording. Like, you know, there looks like there's some kind of a pit there. You know, but I've never seen that building. I don't... Oh, I can open the door. Okay. That's a step forward. So, in other words, stuff like this, you know, I don't know what the... I don't know what it's for, you know? At least not this second. Imagine I could figure it out. Open it, yeah. Okay, pretty cool. I mean, it's a nice map. Like I said, even if I keep the, you know, if I ever wind down what, you know, Gifts of the Caucasus, I'd probably come right to this to see about. I thought that was a gold coin right there, just a handle. I guess, is there gold coins on this? Yeah, so it's a nice map. I mean, I do really like it, honestly. I like the looks of it, just as I said in the first video. So, like I said, I definitely would play it. I just have enough game playing. I have a real life to take care of, too, which I've been neglecting more than I probably should. Whoa, instant. Yeah, neat. I still haven't even kind of figured out where do you put the silage. You know, like, normally it's a big, you know, the typical hopper, I guess you'd call it. So, yeah, well, let me know. You know, I could probably make shorter videos and just stay focused on the soil mod, or just make a whole, more of a let's play about the whole thing. Again, unfortunately, I'd have a lot to learn before I could do much of a let's play, but hey. Never stopped me from playing a game before just because I didn't know it. Certainly not farm sim. Oh yeah, look, by the way, we got a silage bunker going down here. We got a lot of silage. Let me jump back up to like here. Where is... I get lost here. Over this way. I figured out what this thing is. This makes silage. So if we come up here... like a lot of things, so see, we've made 2%, so I figured out to put some chaff in there, which is nice, you know. And then I did learn that the straw went here, so we got some straw. Don't have any grass, and the chaff wouldn't go in here, so need to get some grass. But you can see my straw thing's filled up, and you know, I would have silage if I just waited long enough. I already got 44,000. We can put some silage in there. Alright. Well, I'm actually going to call this a short episode. We got day one's work all done. You know, in some ways it's been the last 3 episodes. This will be the 3rd. You know, we had a little experiment with our tractor with the damage mod. So we'll kind of see how that goes. Let's see if we got any damage on this guy. No damage here, so I'm not sure 100% if that's a result, but over time we'll know. You know, I haven't really run into anything. We just sprayed that field and drove over here, but at least in spraying the field I didn't get a bunch of damage. And I think I may have cut the damage to a 3rd. I certainly think I cut it when you run into stuff. I may or may not have cut it, you know, for just driving around. So time will tell. Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed the episode, and I will be back shortly in real life to create another one, and we will get going on Field 5. All right, see you guys. Take care. Bye-bye.